Alrighty, Pretender here, and we are finally getting the Realm of the Strange 300% drop event for Honkai Star Rail. By the time you are seeing this event is out on Asia and Europe, but it is another hour until the NA servers do get it. Reason I'm started doing this time frame is just so people in Europe and Asia can start farming this now and seeing it now. If you haven't done it yet, you can go ahead and watch this video to find out how you want to do it optimally. And for NA players that are still awake at this time, or when they see this when they wake up, can watch this video and see how they should go about farming this. So again, this event is now out on Asia and Europe and has another hour as this video is launching to release on NA servers. So just like my Planet Ornaments one, I'm going to be going over how you want to optimally be farming this, the way you can get the best value out of this event and the 100% drops. And yeah, that's practically all I gotta say. Before I get into the video, drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and let's get straight into the video. So let's first talk about the general rule of how you want to efficiently and optimally farm these events. The best possible way you can actually go about farming something is by doing a cavern that has two relic sets that are really good. For example, this one with max HP and hackerspace is really good because you have this set, which the 2-piece works on a lot of characters, the 4-piece good for Blade, and then you also have hackerspace, which is practically the best for almost every single support, so something like this would be a fantastic option. Another example would be the one with the dot set and the follow-up set. Follow-up set practically good for almost every follow-up character, and then the dot set best in slot for every dot character. So that's how you effectively want to be farming these, and that would be how you get the most value out of this event. But I'm just going to be mentioning that once. I'm now going to talk about more specific characters and how you want to go about it. So besides focusing on two relic sets in a cavern that are really good, those kind of ways to get the best value out of this event, one of the best other options where if you're not really too worried about the 50-50 and you're willing to risk it, something for Acheron, best one would be Pioneers, and this is not even just for Acheron, as it is Acheron's best relic set. This is really good for practically almost any DPS that can apply a debuff. So it's fantastic for Acheron, as I mentioned, fantastic for Doctor Ratio. Can also work on characters like Jing Lu, all these kind of things. When you do have this 4-piece and you just have it active, it is a fantastic relic set you can do. The value you get on this is insane because the damage increase to debuffed enemies is really easy to get, so that's 12% damage increase. And then you get an extra 4% crit rate, you can get up to 12% crit damage when they have 3 debuffs pretty much. And when they're aware of flicks of debuff, the aforementioned effects increased by 100% for one turn, so that's why you want to make sure they can apply a debuff. So Pioneers is a fantastic one. Sadly, you're also dealing with the Watchbreaker set, which isn't that great. The 2-piece can indeed work, but for the 4-piece, kinda yanks. So for the most part, you will be looking to get good Pioneer pieces. This will probably be the best event to farm this because again, for the looks of it, this is still going to be one of the best sets for practically any DPS that can inflict a debuff for a while. So fantastic one you can choose. Now talking more about something like Aventurine, the one with the Purity Palace is another nice option because you do have the Lightning Relic set, which for the 2-piece is good, the 4-piece kind of sucks, but the 2-piece is really good to use as a substitute. You can pair this with something else, running a 2-piece on one of the Lightning DPSs such as Jingwan, Kafka, all that kind of stuff. But mainly, Knight of the Purity Palace, you can get really good pieces for your Shepherd, you can get really good pieces for your Fire MC, you can get really good pieces for Aventurine. So this is another really good one you can use if you are more interested in getting those characters up. Another thing I would mention is if you are farming relic set, I would recommend farming one that you do want for more than just one character. So not just farming something like the Quantum set just for your Zele, making sure you farm something like the Dot set for more characters. So let's say you have Kafka, Black Swan, Gwenifin, all those characters that are Dot that use the set to the maximum extent. Farming that would be another way to maximize the value you get out of this event. Which, to be fair, let's face it, most of us are probably going to get complete garbage out of this event anyways. But you obviously want to max it out just to see if you can get something that's at least better than what you have, or at least usable as a sub thing until you get a better piece. So again, the best way is to optimally farm this event by having one, a cavern be 2 good relic sets, and then the other optimal thing is having the relic sets used on multiple characters that you own and multiple characters you want to get better relics for or actually start building. So now let's sort of talk about 2.2 characters. So I'm not going to get too into this because I will say, from the looks of it, in 2.3, maybe a little later, we are getting relic sets that are going to be better for Robin and Boothill. So I don't recommend doing this too much unless these caverns have other characters and other relics as you would use them on. So first, let's talk about Robin. The one with hackerspace is going to be nice, mainly for the 2-piece because the 4-piece, she already gives everyone an action advance, so you don't really need the speed. The 2-piece is going to be really good for her in general. And then you'd obviously pair that with something like Musketeers or 2-piece Dot because she does scale with her ultimate buff off her attack. So that'd be another option. Again, this would be a substitute. I'd only recommend doing this if you have other characters, which you most likely do, that would benefit from the Hackerspace set, such as Bronia, Sparkle, Ruan Mei, etc. And then potentially if you have characters that could benefit from this, the 2-piece at least, something like Fushuan, Lynx, Bailu, and then if you have Blade, the 4-piece is really good. That's another way to bank off that. Talking about Boothill, Boothill is in a awkward situation. We do know he's going to be scaling off Break Effect. So 2-piece Watchmakers would be a fine idea. Would make this one a lot better because now you have Pioneers, which again is fantastic to farm. And now if you do get a pretty good Watchmaker piece, you can save it for the 2-piece on Boothill. Because the only other way you get that Break Effect one would be from this one right here. And the physical relic set kind of I think it's only good on Clara. I can't remember off the top of my head, but for the most part you'd probably want to avoid doing one of these. So this one would become a nice option to do because again, Pioneers and then 2-piece Break Effect for your Boothill. Actually, I'm gonna retract the statement you just heard. This one actually could be fine because you get 2-piece of the Break Effect and 2-piece for physical damage. So combining these would be pretty good for your Boothill. Obviously, probably not going to be his best in slot when he comes out. That's probably going to be a better option, or it might be the best option for when he does come out. But again, for those two characters I mentioned, Robin and Boothill, I wouldn't go all out on trying to pre-farm the relics, just because it does seem like we're getting better pieces that are going to be for Break Effect and something like how Robin works. So I definitely recommend just waiting for that. And then quickly talking about the rerun characters we just had Luocha. So the best thing you could farm would be something like Outgoing Healing, but this one, you don't really want to farm this. I would not recommend doing this for Luocha. I'd recommend farming a different one and you use those bad pieces to try to synthesize some of this because Musketeers, 2-piece is nice, but you'd be better off getting the 2-piece on something like the Dot set just because it has the same 2-piece, and then you have 2 good relic pieces to use. For Jinglu, overall, you can also farm Pioneers for her. It's really good for her. But another thing you can do is farming 2 or 4-piece of the Ice set. This one also does come with the Wind set, so it's not a bad value option either because 4-piece Wind set can be pretty optimal on some supports like Pela. So 4-piece on the Wind set would be a nice thing to have just for other characters. So 2 good sets, but again, make sure you have multiple characters that could benefit off these. Now, as they did also just confirm that Firefly and Jade will be a part of 2.3, as we don't have relic sets confirmed for them like we do Robin and Boothill, I am pretty confident to think that they will eventually, maybe 2 or 3 updates later, get relic sets that are going to be their best in slot. So I wouldn't really look to pre-farm them too much right now, but if you really do want to, from what we do know from their base kits, again, it's completely outdated by now. It's probably going to be a good portion different. The scaling or stat might be different, percentages might be different, but just going off what they kind of function like, as we do know with the preliminary stuff, Firefly was HP draining and Jade was follow-up. So a safer bet to go with would be for Firefly doing the 4-piece of this HP drain set, max HP, getting HP consumed, getting crit rate increase. This can be a really nice op for her. And then for Jade, something like 4-piece follow-up set would be a thing that might be really good on her, especially for when they do come out. Because when they do come out and say they don't have their best in slot relics yet, it does get sort of shown that we might be getting new relics for them. It still will be nice to have one of these ready for them just so you can use them before the optimal stuff comes out, just so they're not collecting dust in your box. So from the looks of it, probably these two won't be a bad option. But again, take that with a grain of salt, how we practically don't know how their kits will be fully going forward. We just know the baseline of how they're probably going to function, which again could end up being completely wrong again. But for now, if you want to take a safer route, those two are fire caverns you can do, just because with this one has the active space, and then a lot of people can use a 2-piece. Some can use a 4-piece. And then for Jade, the follow-up set, good on any follow-up character, and then the dot set would be the byproduct of the other set you can get, good on any dot character. So even if you do pre-farm and it ends up being wrong, you get relic pieces that can be really good for other characters. And so yeah, that is practically how you do want to go about farming this event. That is the way you optimize it, the way you want to go about these characters. Sort of tips about the current characters, the current reruns, and upcoming 2 characters. Again, just a quick recap for upcoming characters. Robin, Boothill, they'll have their better sets coming, so I would recommend you wait on those, but something like 2-piece Hackerspace, 2-piece Dot, or Musketeers would be good on Robin. For Boothill, something like 2-piece of the Watchmakers / this Break Effect one with 2-piece of something like the physical set would be a nice option. For Firefly / Sam, something we could know that could work, probably will work, will be the HP Drain / Max HP set. And then for Jade, something like the follow-up set will probably be fine for her. So let me know what you guys are going to be choosing. Personally, I'm probably just going to do Hackerspace because I do need better pieces for this. I want to try to get 160 Speed Sparkle. so I'm probably gonna go crazy with this. My blade could use some better pieces, same with some other characters. And then I also do need speed boots on Hackspace to give to my Bronya because she's literally just missing speed boots and then she's usable again. So hopefully I can get that. But anyways, let me know what you guys are gonna be farming. And yep, peace.